Welcome to the Six-Figure Author Experiment, where we help you break through your first or next $100,000 goal. Parental discretion is advised. Now, let's get on with the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Six-Figure Author Experiment. I'm so excited because this time we're talking about my favorite topic, direct sales.
Yes, I'm so excited too. I'm Lisa Vino, and we are going to talk about a new term I've learned, self-liquidating offer. It is not a term that you made up, though.
It is not a term I've made up. I would never make up a term that boring.
Fair. I believe that. Yeah, it's a nonfiction person term for sure.
Yes. Well, and it's really like where it really came into prominence was courses about, so the idea is, I mean, it's probably from the 90s or 80s or before, but I started learning about it in the late aughts, early 2010s, which is like the idea that you're going to run ads to a thing. You need to run ads to get your idea out and like to get enough people to, and you need to make money on those ads otherwise you're going to run out of money. And the way that a lot of people think about it, and frankly, like I also often think about it this way, is I'm going to spend money making a thing and selling and building an audience, and then I'm going to spend money selling it. And like not those two things happen in like concert with each other, but they're almost discrete bits. A self-liquidating offer allows you to kind of build continuous momentum for a thing because you're basically running ads, and those ads are liquidating themselves. You're making the same amount or more on that offer as you're spending. And it's been in coaching and nonfiction, and frankly, like most of e-commerce forever. And because there's never been a direct sales thing in books, nobody has like used that term. But basically the thing that you're doing where you're driving ads to your store and trying to like make back that cost is a self-liquidating offer. But also the thing that we all do, well, not Russell, because Russell doesn't run ads to his books because his books aren't on Amazon anymore. But the thing you do where you're running books to your sales to your Amazon books and trying to break even on book 1, 2, 3, 4, and like that is also a process of a self-liquidating offer because you're trying to like make $1 from spending 90 cents so you can keep running those ads. So it's really a process of building kind of like a lead gen and also sales engine. So you grow and grow and grow and grow and grow without it costing you money.
Yes, we want to be in the black, not the red. So we're talking about your launch, Russell. You have a lot of books. They're all written. It's wonderful. They're in the process of being uploaded or are uploaded. We have some timing about when we want to put the pre-orders on Amazon. And I made a checklist. I made a generic one that is out in the world, and you can get it. Anyone listening to this call can get it in the show notes. It's going to be one of the top links to get this book launch checklist. And now I'm in the process of refining it to give to Russell. It'll be Russell's book launch checklist. Anything involving Facebook is going to be deleted.
Unless it's ads on Facebook. Then
well, you said you would post some chapters on Facebook. That counts. And chapters and book links. So I will make a note in the Facebook. You're not doing a Facebook Live. You're not doing any sort of launch party on Facebook. You're just maybe posting that. You are going to run Facebook ads. However, we have something special. We have Written Word Media, you're paying them to run some launch ads and to do a lot of the newsletter promo. So you kind of have that piece covered. And I'm excited about that because it frees up your time to do something else. And my thought was, you're cool with Facebook ads. Don't run them to Amazon and build Amazon up. Let Written Word Media do that. I do think it is worth advertising to Amazon. As I mentioned on the last podcast, I have not found it useful to advertise to any other storefront. There are 2 storefronts to advertise to: Amazon or your own storefront, not Kobo, not Barnes & Noble, not Apple Books. For some reason, I have not gotten those. I will spend $100. I will make bupkis. I'll make nothing or, it just doesn't make sense for me to spend a lot of time. There's no leverage because I'm not
Right.
getting any sale.
Well, and
So
on top, and we should say this is for ads only, right? Like that is where newsletters and other things are very good at
yeah,
finding your audience, and going into the dashboards and doing the term that I learned last week, which is merchandising.
merchandising, another boring term that was made up not by a fantasy author,
Well, it's
obviously.
something I would never think is that thing. It's like
Yeah,
merchandising.
you're
I'd be
like,
like, I mean, I learned that word from Spaceballs, and it's like Spaceballs the flamethrower, Spaceballs the action figure, not like Spaceballs the going into Kobo and booking a promotion is never what I would have
yeah,
associated.
it would be more fun if there was the Spaceballs flamethrower involved. There is not. But BookBub pre-order promos are so great to make sure, hey, I'm blasting out to all my Kobo readers and your own newsletter, of course. But outside of that, booking those BookBub pre-order promotions, you can ask for more than one. I did not know that. You can. There's a certain time frame, so I would email them early or go into your dashboard and talk to them early and populate your BookBub with every single link that they will take. And that's how you're going to reach those people. But Facebook ads is how I've really exploded my business. Facebook ad and translations. We'll talk about translations another time. So Facebook ads, though, in more recent years, last year we learned we can run Facebook ads to our direct store. We can spend $1. We can make back. Some days it's $1, some days it's $2. So let's say $1.50, $1.30 is kind of where I think we ended up. And we also see a halo effect on Amazon and all other retailers, meaning we spend $1, we make that money back from the store, but then we make another $1 million from other retailers. So that's very nice. I like that math a lot. It makes me sound a lot smarter than I am, because really what I'm doing is running kind of mediocre ads to my store. Like spending $1 to make $1.30 isn't like, I feel like a lot of authors aren't going to be like, yay. They're all like, I want to make $2 at least, the minimum. And sometimes I wonder if the math is correct for them. But for me, I do know I am making back within days. Amazon pays you 3 months later. Shopify pays us several days later. Stripe, the money's back in our account. So that's a self-liquidating offer, meaning now I have my advertising budget back in hand and I can throw it back out there and then potentially double it, potentially just make it back and then throw it again.
Right. And this is what you were talking about a couple episodes ago. I don't remember each episode now that there's more than 5, that this is number 6, but like, it was like you take the money spending on ads and you put it back into ads. And then you keep growing that. $1,000 becomes $2,000, becomes $4,000, becomes $8,000. And like in the way that Amazon works, it's like you make a sale and it's 60 days from the end of that month before you like get paid on it. Right. And so you're like, it's like not even just 60 days. It's like sometimes up to 89 or 90 days until you get that money back. And like, so now you're like, my series is hot. I'm going to put money, I'm mortgaging my house. Yeah. Like I'm putting on credit cards, like whatever the thing is, because like, you got to keep it going. Whereas if like you put $100 in and like $130 comes back out, you put $130 in, like you could then double that. It's like the law of compounding return, right? It's
yeah.
Like,
and remember, you talked about don't just be on one podcast, be on all the podcasts. Don't just spend $10. If you have $1,000, spend $1,000 in a shorter period of time. Right. And that's essentially what you can get to very quickly. Even if you're new, even if you're saying, look, I have a lot of other expenses on my plate. My books haven't earned millions of dollars. I'm trying to get to that point. But first, they haven't even made $10, and I'm going to invest some of my own pocket money back. And I'm a big fan of never go into debt. You have your books pay for their own advertising. And Russell's willing to put up some money because these books have earned something. They are more of a proven concept. But I think written word media does its thing and pushes Amazon. And you set up a Facebook ad and $10 a day, test some creative. So get 5 pieces of copy and 5 images. The images are probably going to be your bundle, all those beautiful book covers. Sure. If not your bundle, then it could be the image of book 1 and then 3 seconds of the bundle at the end. so they see it. And
These
your
are
first
videos,
picture.
right?
If video is hard for you to make, just do a static image. I guess, yeah, I was saying, 3 seconds of this and 3 seconds of that. So that would be a video. But if it's hard, let's do some static images. Test 5 static images, and I can help you with this. 5 pieces of copy. That gives you 25 things to test. But that's a
Right.
lot. So maybe start with 2 and 2, and then that gives you
But I think you do need
things to
like that.
test.
You need enough to run it against each other. And when you're saying am I creating 25 different ad sets with this one with one in each one, or am I putting them all into?
No, you can create an ad set for static images. Don't test static images against video. It's not going to be a one-to-one. It's the
Sure.
apples and oranges. So one ad set, let's say tonight or tomorrow, you are like, okay, I do have these 3 images. Okay, start with something. They're static. Set up a campaign, and in the campaign, an ad set, and that's your static images ad set. And then you make these ads. Did you say you had a good audience
I mean,
on Facebook?
on Facebook? No,
Like a Kickstarter
I mean,
audience?
I have like a huge mailing list of people that have bought from me
Yeah, you
before,
can
and I have it
upload
segmented
that.
for each person, each series. So, like,
You can
yeah,
upload that, create a lookalike.
sure.
My best audience personally for paranormal romance and any romance really, Diana Gabaldon, E.L. James, Danielle
Danielle
Steele.
Steele in
I
one
also like
audience
had
together or in 3 different
yep, nope,
audiences?
and one Nora Roberts, all one audience, Sylvia Day, and then there are a bunch of other littler ones I can just add in, but those are my big ones.
So did you start with just putting them all in one audience, or did you test them
Yeah,
separately first?
I had Nick do it. I had Nick Erics run my ads for years, and he's like, "Look," he figured so much of this out. He's like, "Target the feed only, don't target any other placement," which Facebook's trying to get you to not even be able to see how to do that. So if you can, do the feed only. And he says, and I believe this, you can have your book cover without text as the background image, and then a picture of the book in front, like in the corner. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Like,
I can,
blurry, like a god with a blur on it, or like straight?
nope, straight.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
book background. So the book like is as a little, mocked up on an iPad or as a paperback. BookBrush does this, right?
Sure,
On the book background with no text. He says you
sure,
can get $10,000 out of that. And I agree, that
sure.
plus your blurb should be good enough to convert. If not, write 3 other blurbs and test those. But you can start with that image. I would do book 1. And this is what I'm hoping happens. You set up some of these ads, you set a test so they turn off after 400 clicks.
Sure.
And out of however many you've tested, let's say it's
Wait,
5.
400 clicks or 400 impressions?
Oh, dude, you're right. 400 impressions. That was silly. Yeah. When I get into the numbers, you're going to have to correct me. But yeah, 400 impressions, meaning 400 eyeballs have seen it somehow. And you have some data, and it's all equal data.
Mhm.
Every ad got the equal amount of eyeballs. And then if your blurb is converting, that's a good thing to know. But this is what I'm hoping happens. I want brand recognition for you. I want enough people clicking through to buy your bundle that you can pay for these ads. But I really am hopeful that, and this is how it works for us, for Renee, Rose, and me, our series gets some recognition. People go and they look for this book on Amazon.
Sure.
So we have the copy making sure it's branded. It's not just a guy in a suit. It's our guy in a suit. And
Right.
there's an image, at least if it's a video, let's say it's a guy walking, the ending image is the book cover.
Sure.
This is a book. Go read it.
Sure.
Because otherwise we get 700 comments. what is this? What book is this? What, like, what's the title? Um, but what's happening is people see that and they go, oh, it's a book. Well, I don't really want to buy it from anyone other than Amazon. Like, I'm just comfortable with Amazon. I think
Sure.
Sky Warren said that, 2/3 of the American population has Prime, meaning they like Amazon enough that they pay for a membership. So Amazon just has a lot of recognition.
I mean, in
So
fairness, I don't like Amazon. It's just like $100 to get free 2-day shipping, and it's like $100 in order to not do it. So, but yes, I'm with you.
enough people do like it. So they're just going to be comfortable buying on Amazon. I want enough people buying your bundle to put money in your pocket so that
Sure,
you flood those people who shop on Amazon's feed
sure.
with your book cover image, especially your book one. And they end up over clicking on Amazon, and you see the money start to come in. You see the pre-orders starting to come in, but you're getting paid.
Sure. So here's my question. My books bundle is $20 to $25. It's currently 20. We're going to talk about, I think, like the pricing of like, do I still do $10 a day, or shouldn't I do $20? So like I expect if I like then it'd be 2 days before I can expect to get one sale from it, or does it not matter at this point?
Oh, I just said $10 a day because it's like,
Sure.
start testing at if you can afford 20, sure.
Sure. I mean, if
Um,
you can attend, like basically whatever you can afford, I think you should spend like on sure. Okay, so Lee had to go get more water, and so I'm going to tell you all about the testing method that I use, or at least kind of the testing method that I use, or that I used previously. Um, if you know Steve Piper, like he uses this thing called click testing, and like the general idea is this is great. Like if you could just put a bunch of stuff in an ad set and like go, then like awesome. But you might find that like when you first get started, that's not a thing that you should do, that like it's not working. Or you might want to say, how do I test? I want to test everything against each other. And like this is where it gets exhausting. And like, but you would set up Diana Gabaldon and E.L. James and all of these authors, and you put like $5 a day into each ad set, and you would run this ad. But you don't do that first. That's not the first thing you do. First thing that you do is you put just a white background and several of your main title, like your like the first line of your blurb that's like he was everything, then he was nothing, and now he's a potato, or like whatever that is. Like you would put that in your, because that's like going to be your main headline, and you would put all of those together against a white background, and you would do the same thing about 400 impressions, and then you would see which one won. Maybe one or two of them win. Probably one is going to win, or maybe none of them win, because like you want a good, like if you can't get sub 10 cents or like on a click when you're just trying to figure out like who is, and so you're testing for the click, and whichever one gets the most clicks moves on to the next round. Then the next round is the same thing with your cover, with your main image, and you're going to test the same thing against 5 images on the same background, except the background is a different image, but the title is the headline that you already picked is the winner. So you have one same title, and then once you have a winner there, that is when you start doing the blurbs and the blurbs against each other, et cetera, et cetera. Once you have a winning ad, then you would create different ad sets with each target interest, and you would see which one wins. Like you could do that at the beginning too, but what you want is like the broadest amount of impressions. And so like that is exhausting.
yeah.
Lee's one is way better if you can just like put a bunch of people in together. But like you will want, it's just like we talked about written word media, and you gave us something last week, which was like a place to book all of the promotions. And it's the
Ram
same
promo
thing.
stacker. Mhm.
Yes, it's like you can put all of those in a sheet, and then you see the return on each one of what like it does for you over time, and then you have data and you cut the ones that don't work,
Yeah.
because regardless of what Lee says or what I say, like the most annoying part of Facebook ads and really business in general is there is no one size fits all. It's all chaos. Everyone thinks that they can impose order to chaos, but like my business works differently than Lee's business, even though we both write books. And I'll bet of her 10 closest mastermind people, at least half of them are like, this thing doesn't work. And you're like, I made $1 million in this thing. And then they test and they're like, I lost $30,000 on it. And like, that is the chaos of business. So like, I've taken every ad course except Cameron's ad course. And everyone, I'm like, this is going to be the magic. This is going to be the magic one. I'm going to have the one that's not testing. And they do all of the things. And at the end, they're like, and then you got to test it.
And then you go test it. I know. And talking to Nick Eriks is really fun because he's like, you can also test this. I just talked to my new ads guy who was trained by Nick because Nick won't do it for me anymore. Ben is like, you can also test the music. And I was like, I need to go take a nap right now. This is exhausting. But this is what I have to say. You have beautiful covers and I want brand recognition and I want people clicking through to get your offer. And you have the ability, where are you selling? You have these, and we'll put them in the show notes. You have these books up in a direct sales offer. What is the platform?
It's on my website, and the platform is Optimize Press. Because so our direct sales stores work the two ways you can make a direct sales offer work. One is using a Shopify store, and one is doing a sales series landing page where you're selling the whole series as like a bundle price together, and they only have one offer on that page. And so mine is through Optimize Press with like a Thrive Card integration. And then there's an upsell that sells the rest of my books.
Perfect. And that sounds great. Can you put a pixel? Can that integrate with Thrive Card? Can the Facebook ads pixel integrate with?
For sure.
So is that done? Is that set up?
Yes.
Cool.
As far as I know, it is. It's been a while, but yes, I think so. If not, I will do it before I do ads.
Yeah, do that before you do ads because you can't put a pixel on Amazon, so you lose a lot of data, but you can on your direct sales offer, and that's one of the benefits. The other benefit is you're getting all the data. You're getting their email addresses, meaning you sell the heck out of book one or even your free book. I took Steve Piper's class on, I don't want to repeat all his advice.
Well, I did not take Steve Piper's course. So that's why I am comfortable saying the thing that I have learned.
I don't want to repeat it because it's proprietary and it was a great course and the click testing was awesome. But the whole idea of you have your landing page and you're offering this bundle. And I'm even thinking you could just offer the freebie. That is actually sounds really fun. Take book one cover and be like, chapter one, book one cover, book one's background without text and a cool, the headline of the blurb, which looks amazing. I just read it and test some of that and run it to the bundle and see if you make some sales. The other thing to do is try selling the freebie, just the freebie. And then you get their email and then upsell to the bundle. And that might actually work better because you're they're getting to know you and they're getting in your ecosystem. And I love this because more and more people are going to see your ads and a lot of them shop on Amazon. And I really think we're going to see some overflow to Amazon to your pre-order. And then once the book is live, in the meantime, you're making money. So at this point I'm thinking you're not going to want to even, if you tell me I have $1,000 in ad budget, I'm like, save it to book launch. And at this point, written word media is running the Amazon ads. So what do you do with that money? My number one thing that I would do is $10 a day, $20 a day, test some of these ads to your direct bundle, see if you can make some money. Right now, I think it will only help your Amazon launch. But I could be totally wrong and we'll find out if you do it.
Sure. So what you said is really interesting because I have an ad team for the author stack, and we test the two modalities you can really test. One is ads to a free download, and then ads to an offer. And so we tested both, and like the for that particular thing, the ads to an offer work to get, like, the other one doesn't work like at all. Like, it is fully broken. Like, and so instead, we're transitioning to move more towards like the paid offer. But
Right.
Steve will, I mean, I'm sure he will say this publicly. I think he has said it publicly, but like half of the people are right. Like, it works half the time for
It
either of
does. I,
them.
I have to say, again, I don't want to say like everything that Steve taught me to do, but I worked on an offer where, so I skipped a lot of the click testing training because I was like, I have ads that work on Amazon. Let me just point them to my store and see what happens. So
Sure.
I kind of jumped ahead a little bit. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been beneficial to do it from scratch, but I was like, I've been running ads for a long time, and I don't have time anymore. Like, I
Uh,
need the quick solution. And I started running ads to a free offer, and then trying to upsell to a paid offer. That did not work. But selling a giant bundle really, really worked well for me. And I like money. So I just pulled that lever over and over and over again.
mhm.
But it's nice to have more things than just one option in your tool belt.
Well, and there's also
Toolbox.
like, eventually, if you do this, like, let's say you can get it working and you're spending $1,000 a day on ads. Eventually, like, you can take some of that. You can take some of that money and be spending it for just the opt-in. Like, there's an author who would
Yeah.
talk about doing this. Like, they would say you have to always be running ads to your first book and series for free. Um, we don't talk about that author anymore, but like, he was making millions of dollars on Amazon. And so of course you can take some of that money and run free offers because like you're now.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, at this point, I am no longer running anything. Actually, no, I might have a small ad going to a free book on my Shopify store, and then they basically enter their email. I want their email. I want their email so I can sell them the 20 other books in the same series. And that's
Right.
what you could try. So your free offer is magic. No, sorry, that's book one.
Yes.
Your free offer is change.
Well, I give away a lot of magic for
And
free
you give a
when
lot of
people
magic
do.
for free too. So, I mean, these covers are just so beautiful.
Sidecat
Depending
Studios.
on how, yeah, like, man, put them in the show notes. They're awesome. Or just give their contact information to me so I can hire them. But you have this tagline: one last job, then she'll retire, but this job might kill her. Isn't that always the way? So that's it. Like, cover, book image or background image of the cover, tagline. And then you could try, that's one ad. And then another one with the blurb. And then the content could be the first chapter. So you have several ads you can test right away. I'm excited about it. And I can dig into fantasy authors to target, but I would look, if click testing sounds like a drag and you're not going to do it, just put all the authors in one audience. They're targeted enough. Have you ever looked at your own Facebook interests? It's weird. I don't even
Yeah.
know. Like, I follow a lot of authors. You'd think that more authors would be in my targets. They're not. It's like Peaches, the band. I don't know why. So
Yeah, I remember when they used to have audience insights, which I so miss, and it's like wild to see what everyone's like most connected with thing is. It's
yeah, but
so weird.
I would put Stephen King, Sanderson, Rothkis, anybody, and then the Facebook will be like, and what about this author? And what about this author? Put them in one giant audience.
Well,
I think it'll be fine.
one thing I will say about Facebook is now that they have AI in ads, it makes creatives slightly more interesting because it just says you put one in and it's like, how about these other four options? And you're like, I don't know, like, whatever. Like, I don't want to make four more options. So like, I'll let
Yeah,
you
if they
do
make
it.
sense. For me, I'm using a lot of my copy and it's Big Bad Boss, and they're like, you should hire an assistant. I'm like, nope, that's not going to work for my romance novel, but
Right.
okay. So yeah, if it works, go for it. You do want to try to do targeting US only, and try to target the feed if you can change placements. And I would they're trying to take away the ability to change your placements. They're trying to take away the ability for you to change or choose your audience.
Right.
So I don't know what they're going to offer you when you go into your ads manager right now. The way I can find those options still is by copying my old
Yeah,
campaign.
that's what I do
Really
too.
sad. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can do that. So I would do that. And I would, if you're excited to test Stephen King versus Patrick Rothfuss, am I pronouncing his name right? I don't know.
Patrick Rothfuss is like, but it's like this is a very deserty tactic, because like deserts are all about arbitrage, and you find arbitrage by getting the absolute maximum amount of value from everything. And so like if you're not a desert, probably you do not resonate with this thing. You just want to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and like see if ads stick. And like that is generally mine. That's why I like, for instance, Sparkloop. That's why I like Amazon ads, because like you can just be like, I don't
Yeah.
know, like go find things. I don't care. Like I can't do it. Now I just put in the chat for people that only have one book. So this is an offer that I have. I'm gonna just maybe I just share it.
Yeah.
Which is if you only have one singular book. So which, because I know like most people don't have 12 books. It's not quite like the $20 that we like, but this is one hardcover, or not hardcover, but this is one special edition book that we did a couple of years ago. It is a like YA romance about a girl who was in love
These
with her best
ghosts.
friend,
Yeah.
and like her best friend comes back from the dead to like stop a rift from the afterlife from opening, and it's like a love story between her and her best friend, and like also there's like a big fantasy adventure. So basically what I did was I put the special edition on Kickstarter, and the cover that you see here, which you can get in the show notes if you're listening, is like our special edition cover. I don't sell it anywhere. I don't offer it anywhere, but I said I will let it go for this one offer. So it's like it's
Right.
$5, but then
Yeah.
you can upgrade to the audiobook for like $20 total or something like that. So like you can also give audio commentary. You can also do a lot more stuff, because $5 is like, it's tough to break even on ads at $5. But if you
Yes.
offered like the audiobook, audio commentary, special edition, I don't know. I don't know what the offer is to give that much value, but like if you pack it with value, then, or especially if you do like a hardcover, like special edition offset run in China or somewhere, and like you have a bunch of books, then you can start doing my personal favorite offer, which is the free plus shipping offer. I make them like just bank on that whenever I have extra inventory. We can talk about that, but basically the idea is
Yeah.
like I have 30. Most people are not going to start this process when they have a bunch of books, but yes, having 3 books in the series is going to be like an ideal place where direct sales is going to start working for you, probably. But like the more the better, the bigger the discount, the better. But like you can see, oh, there it is. See, like $5. Instead of $10, it's $5. I used to send this to actually for our direct sales accelerator. I talk about this build because I did it for that thing. But then like you could just send this to everyone in your email list, because how I make money now is I have all of these offers, but they're all just in people who sign up to my email list get them. So
Yeah.
like if you download Magic, which is book 1, you get put into my Godverse sequence, and it's sent to be like, this is a 5-day sequence or however long it is, and like you're going to learn about the book. I'm going to give you an offer that you can never get again, which is like the $20. It's like $20 for the whole series. It's like I feel bad that some people paid more than that for like the ebook series, but I say it's like literally you're never going to get it again, I guess, unless you see it when I do ads. But like the idea is like the we use an evergreen countdown timer to say like you only have 2 days or whatever the amount of time is left to like get this book series. And so yeah, it's so if you
Yeah.
only have one book, like it will be harder for you. But like you should at least create like a sales page for that book or something, and then put an offer in your emails that allows you to, when you collect emails, to like send them something. Because like you really, what you want to do is train your people. You want to train the people on your list to buy from you, so that when you have a Kickstarter or when you have a direct store and like you put another thing on there, like they're like, I'm going to buy there. I'm going to buy from this person. And what you're really doing is showing, when you buy from me direct, nightmares won't happen. Once somebody knows that like they're going to get their book, it's going to be easy, and like
Yeah.
things are going to be maybe not as simple as Amazon, but like you can just put it all in BookFunnel or whatever. They're going to be more likely to do it next time because they know it supports you more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, and
So, yeah. Does any of this sound exciting to you though? Like setting up some ads to the bundle that is now going to be live, and you have some time. You might start it in the 3-week pre-order period when it's up on Amazon.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I would do. Wait until, because like what you're trying to do, and I have been told that like there's a potential for, if you spend enough money on ads, up to like a 6-figure spillover effect on retailers from like,
Yeah, no, it was a 7-figure effect.
yeah, so
That
like you
halo
are,
effect was massive, Russell. Like, and it was all backlist.
yeah,
So we spent, 130 some thousand on our store. We made 200 some thousand on the store, and we made over $1 million, like everywhere that book could be sold. Our store, Amazon, where everywhere, drafted digital, all the little categories. I don't even know what they're called. All of it was over 7 figures, and it was without a new release. That is what I'm hoping happens for you. Now, I have to say, I have a lot of Amazon buyers because
right.
that was how I built my career. So maybe our books are special, and I have friends that they haven't seen as a massive a spillover effect, but I would try it because you're going to get money in hand, which is the whole
Well,
point, and you're moving the books.
yeah, I mean, there's definitely not going to be less spillover effect for me because there's just, the audience isn't as big for Portal Fantasy as it is for like bad boy alpha romance. Like it's just, so like one of the things when you take all of this into account when you're thinking about doing it for yourself is like, if you write horror monster like books about like, I don't know, anti-capitalism where they like fight in feudal Japan, like your audience is going to shrink all of
It
those
does.
times because there's like just not that big an audience for each one. So you might say, I ran ads, and it might, this is why when I say at some point every series breaks even. Like it might be 40 books before it breaks even, but like at some point you will have a large enough audience, large enough library to discount it enough that like people will buy it, like on Amazon through sell through, like you'll like, but we in general, like you don't want it to be 10 books. You want it to be closer to like, well, 2 books. One book
Yeah.
would be great, but like,
Yeah.
and the bigger the size, so like contemporary is bigger than paranormal overall. Like it's
Yeah,
just like there are
absolutely.
more people. Thriller and romance are bigger than spec fiction. They
Yeah.
just are. And like you could fit all of the rest of the books inside of thriller. You could fit all of the rest of the books inside romance, and like every other book that's not romance versus romance, and like they will be pretty close to the readership. That is why romance can have so many tropes, right? Like it's why like
Yeah.
you could be like, no, I only want a this and a this and a this and a this, and you're like, oh, there's probably 50,000 books like that on there.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a whole series with
Right,
just blue aliens
right.
or whatever. Yeah.
Which is the opposite of like comics, where they're like, you have a comic? I'm interested in your comic because there just are not, comics is 1/40th the size of books or something like that. So like there's less options. So people are more likely to like not be able to their box is it a comic? Does it look good? Is it my genre? Maybe I question mark if I even care about that because
Yeah,
there's like
no,
it's
they're
so
not even
rare.
getting into tropes. I get it.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast and the guy was like, if you hit, it was a very, who does the trends? You'll tell me in a second. But he
Brian
said, look,
Cohen?
if you get the trend, that does the lifting for you. So I'm seeing trends. I have a friend who wrote a stalker romance, and stalker romance is really in dark romance.
Yeah.
And, I could write a werewolf book and it will get a certain amount of lift because it's evergreen. But right now, if it's a hockey or a stalker romance book, it's just going to get way more lift. So we were just talking with Renee about doing a comic, and you were just giving us the reality. Like, a comic is going to sell this much. You're hoping to sell way more, and you are. And it's just, you have to set expectations for the comic versus fantasy. So I get it. I hope that you will see, though. What I'm hoping is this: you spend $10 a day, you make back 11.
Sure. That's great.
And you do that all day, every day you can. And we start to see an increase in your audience size. So when, the next Godverse book comes out, you have more people to sell it to. The other thing we start to see is people who don't want to buy direct start to recognize your book and start to bookmark it, start to buy it on Amazon. They pre-order it, or they say maybe later, and then they see another ad for it and it's a whole chapter and they can't stop reading, and they're like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
That is what I'm hoping to do with $10 a day or $20 a day starting out. And I would start, like you said, 3 weeks before the Amazon book goes live. So
no, 3 weeks before the book goes live. But when I put it on Amazon, then I should do it. Because we already talked about, I'm not putting on so I'm going to put the book on Amazon 3 weeks out, and then I'm going to start running ads to the direct store, right?
Yep. I'm going to put all this in your checklist, which I will work on and share in the show notes. You can get a checklist for yourself if you're listening, the generic one, and you can do whatever you want with that. And then Russell's will be specific to the things that he's excited to do, because that's what your launch should be. All your marketing and ideally all your book career is doing the things that sound fun and are exciting to do.
Yes. I mean, that's the whole point of the author ecosystem at the end of the day, is you do the things that you don't think are like, it's all marketing. You just are only doing the thing you don't think is marketing, but it's really all marketing. So I totally agree. I mean, this is how I was going to originally build, but then I was like, oh, if the spillover effect is that high, like the books have to be live, or at least one book has to be live. So like there can be pre-orders for book 2. But I think that you just get so much more, even if all you do is you go on Amazon and you use Amazon's Creative Advantage Plus, over time, those ads actually get pretty good. It sucks at the beginning, but over time, it gets, and Amazon does, not Amazon, for Facebook does this weird thing now where it used to be that ad costs increase every day.
Mm-hmm.
But what started to happen recently, I don't know if you've seen this, is they start ridiculously high and then they work their way down and then they slowly work their way back up. And I've never seen, yeah, that's how Facebook ads have worked for me for the past year.
I've noticed that. And yeah, I've sort of noticed that. You keep saying Amazon ads and I'm like,
yeah, no, Facebook ads.
You meant Facebook ads especially with the creative. Yeah. Creative Plus. Yeah.
Well, although I have been told from certain people, they're like, I don't even do anything. I just have Amazon go find people. I just don't have them do anything except I click the button and then they go.
Yeah, the Amazon, now I'm doing it. Facebook is trying to take away all your options, so they're more in control and prefer the way, Nick Erickson ran my ads, and he ran ads for so many authors. And when he's like, look, this is what I would do, I'm like, well, thanks for, I'll take your expertise, your thousands of hours and millions of dollars that you've spent, and I'll just target the feed.
Right.
So if you can still do that, I think it is worth doing. But if this sounds fun for you, like you have some time and you can get in there and play and use chapter ones and use the book blurbs and use the headlines. That's your copy. Use the
Yes.
book images. That's your images. If you really want to do video, go for it. If you're like, no, never. One video that's actually killing it is hold this up in like front of the rain, like your wind, like rainy lo-fi music or something, and then do this. So if you're listening, I showed the spine of the book while you have some like text on top of it. And then the final image is you turn the book so they can see the full front.
What works is so weird. I will also say that a lot of I was not into the optimizations of Facebook, but they have options for like videoizing and doing all the thing. And now I just like let them optimize all the thing. You can click the optimizations once you're done with the campaign. It's like just turn on all of them, and there's like 9 of them. And I'm like, because like they will make a video ad for you. Like they will just like animate the ad, and they'll
upload
do all that
images.
stuff.
Yeah, just try it. I mean,
So I will also say the one other thing that I heard is that they're not done is like don't just pick the chapter 1 blurb, like pick multiple, not chapter 1 copy, like pick several excerpts from throughout the book, because maybe like your book 4 one will be like more compelling, or like maybe your first one starts boring and like it doesn't really get good till like chapter 7 or something like that.
yeah, one thing TikTok taught me is you want copy, there's no such thing as spoilers.
Right.
Like share the juiciest parts, share something that will make people mad, share something that will make people curious, share something that will make people go, "Ah," share something that elicits an emotion wherever that is in the books, all of the books. And yeah, I would just play with this. And also, while you're doing this, take it and set up some scheduled posts on social media. And I'll also have my mailing list. So I use MailerLite. So I'll have MailerLite open and I'll be pasting in excerpts, copy,
Yep.
scene. I'm doing it all at the same time. I have outsourced some of these things, but when it comes time for a big launch, I'm all hands on deck and I'm like, okay, what am I excited about sharing? Marketing is just an excuse to share something you're excited about. So, okay, I'm going to go post that on Facebook, or I'll set up like 9 scheduled posts. So then my Facebook posting is done.
Right.
And I've created all these ads using the same copy, and I've cut pasted. I do something called, you can do First Chapter Friday. I call it Freaky Friday because it's not safe for work stuff. And it's all those scenes I can't put on Facebook or in ads. And they're all scheduled for Fridays. And then I have, all the fun headlines that I just put on the ads. Well, that's the subject line of the email. So you can set all of this up at once, and then your emails are done. Your ads are, you're going to have to watch them and update them, but they're on their way, and your social media is done.
Yeah. One other thing is, but that's what I'm thinking before, is like, I like to do branding ads, because I don't want to be on social media. So like I call it the ad tax, which is like $5 a day in just stuff that I'm rambling about, or like other videos or about because like so many people are like, well, how do you do social media without being on social media? And like, I think you take a penalty. Like maybe it's $25 a day. I don't know what it is, but like I would way rather pay $5 in just like Emily Kimmelman style, like rambling ads about her book or her philosophy on life than be on social media for $5 worth
and
of stuff a
invest
day.
your time.
Yeah,
because Becca Syme broke down the diminishing returns of social media in general. And it's like half an hour a week. After that, it's not worth it. So go and set up your ads, spend a half an hour, and then get out of there. Do it.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, well, I'm very excited because you want to do a Kickstarter, Lee. And
Yes.
I want the next episode to be about your Kickstarter and like what
let
you want
me
to
be in the
do.
hot seat, and I'm like, oh, I'm scared, I'm uncomfortable, and that's good. So then you can help me through that.
I'm super excited. I saw the cover, so good. I cannot wait to like bring you through this journey and tell you all about like the coaching stack. And I think is the nonfiction stack is the most profitable stack in all of Kickstarter. It is not a flashy stack.
Yeah. So guys, everyone listening, this is a nonfiction project. So it's kind of fun. We're doing the fiction project that was Kickstarter now turned, onto the retailer's launch. And this will be a different sort of launch. It'll be a nonfiction Kickstarter with a lot of things that I do have live. Like I have a course and I have workbooks that I can make and I could sell them on Amazon, but I'll put them in the Kickstarter.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. All right. So that's next time. Any final thoughts, Lee?
My final thoughts is you should check out the show notes because we have some awesome freebies, the launch checklist being the only one that comes to mind.
Well, and I'm sure you'll put up. We're gonna put the offer that I showed. We should add the 3 offers that you done. So like you'll see all of our stuff. Like what I love about this is like it's just this is the actual process. Like you're getting the actual process of like the launch as we're like building it and how they differ from each other and what the options are. Like it's great. It's exactly what I wanted. So like I'm so excited.
Me too.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Thanks for listening. For more, head on over to sixfigureauthorexperiment.com for archive access, resources, and more. We'll see you next time.